This week on One Crazy Story, comedian Dave Landau returns to talk about a house party in high school that may have gone a little too far.
We're sitting there and we're trying to clean this up. You know, I have like a vacuum out, so I'm not hearing anything.
The vacuum untouched.
Dude, I'm vacuuming, but the vacuum was You know what's so fucking funny? All the cleaning products were readily available.
Hello and welcome to One Crazy Story. I'm your host, Nate Armbruster, and this week, it's Dave Landau. Again, he's been on twice before. If you haven't listened to those episodes, I urge you to go back because they are hilarious. Two of my favorite ones. Dave, if you don't know him, is a very, very funny stand-up comedian. He's been on Last Comic Standing, Comedy Central multiple times. Very funny. If you ever get the chance to see him live, you gotta. He's so funny. Make sure you go to his website and find out all of the live shows he's doing. You can find out about where he's performing. Definitely go see him if you get the chance. Also, he's got a movie out called The King. It's an independent movie he made himself, produced right here in Detroit. If you want more info on that, you can also find that on his website. I suggest you watching it. It's very good. I'm also in it. I made my big screen debut thanks to Dave Landau. So this guy's a good dude. So enjoy the show. If you enjoyed anything you heard so far, please go to iTunes, rate this, subscribe to it. Do all of that stuff. Share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media. Yeah, you can do MySpace. Anyway, thanks for listening. Enjoy the show with me and Dave Landau.
In 1998, me and my friend Dan were hanging out with this girl, Lauren. And I'm just going to change these names.
Yeah, please do.
But we all skipped class all the time and smoked pot and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Lauren's little sister, who was like a year younger than me and 2 years younger than Lauren, was dating my best friend, Ryan. Mm-hmm. So we all kind of knew each other, and we would, me, Lauren, and Dan were always skipping class. Like, we never went to any classes. We would just, like, crash it, get high, go get 40s, that kind of thing.
If you want a good example, go back and listen to Dave's previous episodes.
Yeah, like, we never went to school, dude. And so, you know, and her sister Mary was really, really, like, a good student. So the parents already hated Lauren. Mm-hmm. And it turned out the parents were going to be going on vacation. And they were going to be going to Hawaii for a week. And Lauren's like, hey, like, you guys could use my house just to have, like, a few people over and smoke pot.
What a generous offer.
It really is a generous offer to a 16 and 17-year-old scumbag.
Right. Like, why even offer to anybody? Like, why did that thought cross her mind? Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And at first,
just such a good person.
And that's the thing is, like, I would go to any party. You would find out the nerdiest kid having a party. Yeah. And you would just go to their house.
The party's fun.
Oh, dude, but their lawn would be filled with like 300 kids. They're crying inside. It's like, you're going to have this party if you let us in or not. Like, you would go anywhere to party. Yeah. So, but I actually like the family. So I'm like, I don't know about that. Even her, I'm like, this is...
When you're, what, 16-year-old Dave and you're even having second thoughts about this, that's bad.
I mean, I always had somewhat of a heart, you know, but I just was a bad kid. And I told her, I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't want to get caught or in trouble. And Dan's like, well, we could just have a contract that we could have you sign that said that you gave us the key and could have a few people over. That way it doesn't get out of hand and that sort of thing.
16-year-olds talking contracts. I love it.
Dan is a very successful businessman, and I'm pretty sure he's still scumbag, but I still like him. I don't know what he does, but I know he does well.
It involves contracts.
Yeah, it does involve contracts. I got a lot of contracts out. I do contracts.
I'm a contractor.
Yeah, I know his wife's Asian, and I don't know if she's purchased. But whenever you see their videos,
I'm sure you got a good deal, though.
You know what I mean? Though you kind of look at like, is this legit? Is that something that you just use? But
was this arranged without her consent?
Right. Like, did she come in a box? Did a guy drop her off?
It was not a box. It's a crate.
It is a crate, yeah. Usually with 30 children.
Yes, it's 2017.
Yeah, and they're like, look, it's you get to give hand jobs at the old parlor or you're washing dishes. Wish that wasn't true.
The old parlor.
The old parlor.
You
can work off your debt getting here a lot easier at the massage parlor, trust me.
It is very true.
Than the restaurant.
It is very true.
So, just saying, you make more money.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
And they're not paying you top dollar anyway. You're only getting a percentage of the hand jobs. But I mean, compared to the washing dishes, it's like winning the lottery as far as getting smuggled here in a crate at the cargo end of a ship. And
oh, I love it.
So we're in like the library at our high school for some reason, which is where we would often smoke pot.
Yeah, so we're smoking at the library.
Yeah, we're in like one of the classes we're in, and we have her sign this. She gives us a key, and I'm like, okay, this is
so great.
Yeah, so we have a key and a contract, and we're like, okay, this is all right. So we tell like our friends Joe, Joey, G, like all these people. So we tell like 4 or 5 people though.
Mm-hmm.
So like after school one day, at the time I'm working at an Italian restaurant near my house, and I heard the woman who owns it is dead, which is great news because she was a total bitch. And I'm working there as a busboy.
Uh-huh.
And I have to go to work, but I have to go to work at like 4:30. This is like 3:15, so I drive over there, and it's like 4 or 5 or 6 of us smoking weed in this family room.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's fine. We got the windows open. Nothing's
no big deal.
Going on. So
everything's working out good.
Yeah, and this is 98. This
just
is
some
before,
kids hanging.
Yeah, we're just hanging out. This is 98, mind you. This is before cell phones, pagers, all that. Yeah. I mean, we had pagers. We didn't have cells or anything.
Yeah, you still had to like go out of your way to contact somebody.
Yes, like it took a lot of effort.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to go to work. Dan, you got to make sure people don't call anybody. And, you know, my friend Joe's like, I just told whoever. And someone else is like, I told whoever. And I'm like, guys, let's just not go nuts, whatever. So I leave.
You're the responsible one in this scenario. You're like, guys, let's not fuck this up.
Well, because, and selfishly, it's because I just want to go somewhere and drink and smoke pot for 3 days with my friends.
Yeah, something not ridiculous.
Right. So I go to work, and I work from about 4 to like 10:30, I think, on Friday. So I'm bussing tables, doing my thing, and it was funny because I worked that entire shift, and a waitress named Crazy Debbie tipped me out with $3.50.
No shit. It was a good day.
I wanted to bash her fucking head in. She always was a shitty tipper, but it was like an exceptionally busy night.
Oh, $3.50.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm thinking like $350.
No, $3.50.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
I made no money.
Okay,
Mind you, I'm already making
complete opposite emotion.
And because you get tips, I'm making the like busboy 98
for some reason
hourly fee of like $190.
For some reason, I was like, oh, she gave you $350 and you're pissed at her? All right, Dave. It takes a lot of balls.
No, it's $3.50.
Okay, yeah.
I'm still mad about it, and it's been almost 20 years. Who does that?
I know. That's
like awful. She honestly probably pulled in $400.
Yeah.
You couldn't have given me 30.
Yeah.
Which is good to me then.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm
for
a
16,
young man.
For a 16-year-old, just trying to party? Come on.
But while it's about getting to the last hour, and I'm getting Lauren and Mary's number blowing up on my phone, 911, 911, 911.
Yeah.
So I leave and I call. I call a couple times. Finally, Dan picks up. He's like, dude, you got to get over here. It's getting a little crazy. I'm like, dude, I'm at work. I can't just leave. He's like, no, I need help. We got to do something. And I was like, how bad is it? He's like, just come here.
Was he like panicking, freaking out?
Yeah, he was panicking, and all
and
you could hear was noise in the background. So I mind you, I'm at a payphone outside. So now I'm trying to like calm down while I'm like. So I finally leave and I drive over to the house, and there is a car in every single available street parking spot for like 4 blocks. Wow. I'm not kidding.
Wow. So you had to you parked super far away. You had to walk the entire
I'm like 4 blocks away, and I'm walking up this street, and you can hear it from like where I'm coming.
And you're just panicking.
Yes.
That's the longest walk.
As I'm walking up, I'm just like, oh man, I'm just like smoking a Newport and praying that this isn't going to be as bad as it is. I walk up, all the front windows are shut. Mm-hmm. Everything's shut to make it look like nobody's home. It's like, so there's like lights off in certain rooms and everything, but you can still just see people through the blinds and everything.
Yeah. And it sounds like Cedar Point.
Dude, it was
Just like- it's
crazy.
just
Like
so
the
loud.
loudest noise. And then I come around the corner, and like out of a movie, a television rips apart the top story window,
Oh my God.
like bashes through the window, flies out, and I had to back up, and it just, and this is like a huge big
Yeah.
back television,
Yeah.
and it just shatters on the
Oh
driveway.
my God.
And I'm like, holy
Like
shit.
missed you by like an inch.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, it's just like this TV just lands, and I'm like, fuck this. So I turn around and I'm going like right back to my car. I'm like, I don't even want anything to do with this. I already have a criminal record that's fairly extensive at this point. So I'm going back, and the thing is I never told Ryan about it because he's dating the girl, and he wouldn't have been cool with it at all. So I just figured I'd keep it between me and Dan and some other people. So now I feel really bad because his girlfriend's home is destroyed. At least as far as I know. All I know is there's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
So I know I got to call Ryan. So I finally find a payphone. And I'm like, listen, man, he's at home because he was arrested with weed in like 96. And his dad gave him a like 12 o'clock curfew where he had to be home. And
So he couldn't have gone anyway.
he could have, but like he didn't, like nobody was around that night for some reason because nobody told him we were at the party. So I get to a payphone, and I call him. I'm like, look, man, Lauren gave me and Dan a key to their home so we could have a few people over, and I think there's probably like 400 or 500 people at the house right now.
What a phone call to make.
Yeah. And he's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know what to do, dude. And he's like, well, call the cops. And I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I don't know if I should call the cops on my friends. And he's like, you need to figure this out.
It's gotta stop.
Because he's going to try to get a hold of her in Hawaii
Right.
or something.
Yeah, all hell's about to break loose regardless.
Yeah,
It's like what's the best way to go about it, you know? You have no choice at this point.
So he hangs up, and I figure, like, I'm standing there and I'm like, I hate cops. I don't want to get anybody arrested because they're my friends. But at the same time, this is way out of hand. So I'm like, if a cop shows up, everybody's going to scatter anyway.
Yeah.
So I just call the cops, and I'm like, hey, this is, Dale Carnegie, and my neighbor is having a house party, and, it's no big deal. It's just, it's a little noisy, so maybe just drive by or something. So
How big and loud this was, and a TV going through a window, you think the neighbors would have caught on? Because this is a nice neighborhood.
I think at this point, yeah, it's a pretty nice neighborhood.
It's like there's families. It's not like a college campus where it's like just some crazy kids.
And apparently, cops had already been circling and
Yeah.
stuff, according to Dan.
Yeah.
So it was already known, but I had like this crisis of conscience where I'm just
Yeah.
like, I do not want to call the cops on but I had to do something.
Yeah. And like, who knows what could have happened if you didn't.
Yeah, so apparently the cops finally go in, and like everybody takes off, and it's just this like
roaches.
Well, it's like this historic amount of people. There's basically a freeway jam on what's a suburban neighborhood.
Yeah.
So everybody takes off, and they call they get a hold of the parents, and they're trying to figure out like what's missing, and they're like, okay, the Grand Prix is missing from the garage. Now here's what I didn't know. One of my very best friends, T-Bone, and I'm just calling T-Bone.
I love it.
T-Bone the Wizard, and my friend Derek decided it would be a good job or a good idea to I guess, for lack of a better term, steal the parents' car and take it down to a dope street in Detroit.
Nice.
So they pulled down to Weyburn off of I-94, which is this huge, I don't know if it's still around, but I'm not sure if there's quite the market anymore with medicinal for dirty seed-filled pot. And they pull off. So there's an APB on this car. So Derek and T-Bone get arrested for Grand Theft Auto, joyriding, and being in a dope street. So now they're going down to Wayne County, and these are the only two people who they know that are even involved with this. And they explain to the cops who are like, we were at a house. Somebody said it was their car. Blah blah. You know what I mean? Like some stuff like we didn't know. We thought
had
it
permission.
was, and they showed the keys and that kind of thing. So they let them go, but they were like, you're going to at least be like, you will be arrested for joyriding. But because Wayne County is such a bad prison, it's or jail. They really have trouble keeping like 16-year-old white kids in it, because you're just going to get your ass kicked, and they don't want to be responsible because there's money in the suburbs, which is, I'm not saying it's fair, but it's the reality.
It's just, Detroit.
So the next day, my friend Dan calls me. I'm at my house, and I'm like waking up, and he's like, dude, we have to go over there and see what happened. Like, we need to go see what's going on with that. Now, mind you, we don't know anybody who's been arrested. We don't know anything that's happened. We just know that there was a horrible party, and the cops broke it up.
Oh, my God.
So I'm like, yeah, dude, come pick me up. So he picks you up. I tell him I told Brian, I said I had to call the cops. And he's like, no, I get it, dude. I go,
well, you didn't even have to admit to that. You could have just...
well, I knew he wanted me to do something. Yeah. But it's like, I told him what happened. And I could have, but I don't
I guess that's a shitty thing to do still.
Well, that's how I found out there were cops there earlier, because he was like, no, dude, cops were going by like all night. That's why. Yeah, so we get to this house. You know, the TV's still just... on the driveway, except there's just, I mean, there's got to be 4,000 cigarettes.
Oh my God.
The front lawn chairs are completely broken. The front windows bashed out. The doors off the hinges.
Wow.
Dude, it's just everything. We walk in. To the left is their like living room area. The grand piano has been chopped up with an axe, and it's just soaked in piss with the carpet. Like, you can just smell the piss, and it's not. And this is sad, because this is kind of like a motif between me and a couple of my friends. Because like, even one other time, this girl kicked us out of a house party. So when she walked out of the room, she's like, "You have 5 minutes to leave." I pissed in the grand piano, and then my friend threw breadcrumbs on it.
It's like karma, man.
Oh, it's
coming back at you. You're like,
sad.
So did you guys kind of have a moment?
Well, I looked up and
within all the bullshit, you're just like, that's kind of funny.
Well, just like the grandfather clock is pushed over.
Oh my
and
God.
The clock part kicked in.
Everything's just trash,
dude. Every single picture has a cock drawn on it or something like that. Every single, all the furniture and everything has cigarettes put out on it.
Oh my God.
We go into the dining room. The dining room table that I'm sure was like a family heirloom.
Yeah.
Looked like it had been in a fraternity house since like the 60s. It was just covered in cigarettes and joint roaches,
people writing
and beer
on it,
and all that. Yeah, like
just gross.
Chairs were busted, windows were busted out. The chandelier had been ripped down.
Of course.
The whole there's holes punched in the wall and kicked in.
Jesus.
We go into the kitchen. The refrigerator's knocked over on the ground. Somebody had pulled the oven out of the wall. The faucet is spraying water everywhere.
Some hard-working kids at this party.
Oh, dude,
man.
It's insane.
Dismantle everything.
The breakfast nook table looks just like the other one. It's completely ruined. Then we go into the family room. And the whole thing, just cigarettes out on every furniture, burn holes on the carpet, beer spills everywhere. There's a TV with a chair through it, like their family TV, and on the ground is just the Super Nintendo. No controllers, no anything. Every game has been stolen.
Yeah.
Every controller.
Oh my
it was
God.
just that. But the most amazing thing I saw was the entire chimney, I'm not kidding, was pulled about 4 inches out of the wall. To this day, I have no idea how it happened. The entire fireplace, somehow everybody had got on one side and ripped it out of the wall.
Jesus Christ.
I was standing there baffled. I'm like, this is just insane.
How do you even do that?
Dude, it was the most...
And how long? Maybe, a few hours?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's easy to trash a place, but Jesus.
Dude, it was like nothing to
pull out a fireplace? A bunch of 16-year-old
It's
kids?
fucking crazy. So, like, then I walked by the bathroom. Somebody took a sledge to the toilet. Water was spraying out, so they shut it off with... they shut off the water source, but it was still like spraying. Yeah, to this day, the fireplace thing, I couldn't even tell you how it happened.
Yeah,
it was the craziest thing I've ever... Like, it was so malicious.
I don't know how you pull that off.
So when it's like, dude, like you can see like family photo albums are just destroyed.
Everything.
You can see like everything that these people call home.
Damn it.
I go downstairs and somebody took an axe to the pool table. Mm-hmm. Somebody took an axe to their wet bar.
Wonder if there was like one axe at this party and they just passed it around, or if it was one guy just like
somebody went into the garage and stole tools and all kinds of stuff. So
yeah,
like,
I'm sure they had the stuff there. But
what's the thing is, whoever stole tools, like, dude, there were so many people there. I'm sure somebody called their like 32-year-old cousin who was like,
"Hey, you need an axe?
Hey, man, we got a bit of a construction business. We could just grab this stuff, huh? Like,
yeah, why not?
You know what I mean?
Why
Like, 'cause
not?
people stole, dude. There wasn't a jewelry box. There wasn't a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything they could have, if they hid money, it was gone. There was a safe that was stolen.
Damn it.
Everything that they had, there was underwear that was stolen from like the teenage girl. Everything
Jesus.
was, dude. So I've only gone to one floor and part of the basement at this point.
Yeah. And you're basically touring the place with cops.
No, there's no cops.
Oh, there's no cops
It's
yet.
me and my friend who still have the house key. Went over there to assess the damage.
So now it's just two of you then.
It's me and Dan who promised this girl we would have a few people over to smoke pot.
And you're both just devastated. Are you guys even talking?
I'm just looking at Dan like you're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Like, and because nobody knew why the party was happening, but somehow it even got out that like the girl's parents were in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Which then led to all that.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't even keep the secret of the girl whose house, because I guess, and again, like dance people are asking like, whose house is this? And it's like, it's the sophomore who's
this poor girl.
Sophomore and the senior whose photos are right there, or, you know.
Yeah. Well, did you look at any of the pictures
or the
when
freshman girl and
you destroyed
junior.
them?
Yeah. Oh, that's why. Like, and just
you see the family,
dude.
It's the girl.
Insane. So the entire basement, every chair, cigarettes everywhere, and it was like a nice basement. Mm-hmm. Every single bottle of liquor's gone, or it's been shattered. Mm-hmm. The whole place stinks like piss. You know what I mean? Like it's just this nightmare. Somebody took a lot back then. There was a lot of the wood paneling. Somebody took an axe to all that stuff on the wall. The toilet.
That might have been a good move.
The toilet was destroyed again because whoever was doing it went downstairs to destroy.
Hey, you guys
one.
got another toilet? I gotta bash another one in.
Dude, I go upstairs and somebody took perhaps an axe or a knife or whatever it was and went all the way up the staircase on the wall. Every single picture shattered and just sitting on the ground, and there's cigarettes, beer cans, roach joints, everything as you go up the stairs. Up on the top of the stairs, there's a bathroom. I go in. There is a mountain of upper deckers in this toilet. Like, it wasn't just one upper decker. Like, it seemed like at least 10 or 11 people took a shit on the top of this toilet. The mirrors bashed in. Everything in the bathroom, the glass doors shattered. The windows smashed out. And I walk out, and the carpet's ruined. I go into the little boys' room. They have 2 twin sons.
Mm-hmm. Like, just little kids at the time, right?
Oh, yeah, they're like 5.
Yeah.
5 or 4. And the entire room is trashed, and somebody in red marker, to this day, it was the creepiest thing I've ever seen, wrote above the bottom bunk, "The boogeyman was here."
What the fuck?
In red. I'm not kidding. The creepy. My friends and I to this day still talk about that.
Yeah, that's messed up, man.
Yeah, the boogeyman was here.
That's like evil. I
Dude,
mean, a guy breaking in a toilet or two.
And it's 16,
it's
you
wrong.
don't get how horrible this is.
Yeah.
But as a grown up, you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, I would find you and kill you.
Yeah.
Like, I would fucking kill you.
Yeah.
So it's like, I couldn't even...
So,
me taking it was wrong, and I don't want to still defend it because I should have stuck to my guns and said no. But I can really say I didn't have anything to do with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would never have done this to these people. So I walk into the parents' bedroom, like the bed's clearly been fucked on. There's what's obviously stains. You know, like not as much is taken in there, but everything's stolen.
Yeah.
The doors have been
anything of value.
ransacked. All that stuff, like, is gone. So it's like people were in there, but then also I look over and the TV stand isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, that was the one that somebody tossed out the window as I was walking up. So finally I go into Mary and Lauren's room, and that's where I saw, like, dude, the underwear had been gone through.
Ugh.
Everything had been taken. It's devastating, dude. So,
and at this point, do the parents, have they found out yet?
I don't know.
Okay.
At this point, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know that my friend T-Bone and Derek have been arrested with the car. Yeah. I just know the car's not there. Because that's the part I forgot is when I go into the garage and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, well, and that's the thing is all their cars were gone. The other ones were just found later. So it's like every car was stolen. But I didn't know my friends had been arrested on a dope street fucking for joyriding in one of them. So we go downstairs and we're in the family room and I'm just still looking at this fireplace. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, we have to clean this up. And this is how delusional we are. And he's like, yeah, dude, we got to start.
They're going to be home in a couple days. We better scrape all this.
So we're taking about maybe 15, 20 minutes. We're throwing cans in bags. We're picking up cigarettes. We're like
your heart was in it.
I swear it was, I know. Man, but there's no way to fix this. I mean, dude, the best case scenario would be putting a shaving strip over somebody whose leg just got amputated. Like, there's no repairing this.
Yeah, just put a Band-Aid on it. Right. Yeah. Do you know how to rebuild fireplaces?
Yeah, I'm sure if we also get the same 11 people who rip this out of the wall to push forward, we can make it, not the structural damage.
Yes. Oh my God! Like even if say nothing happened other than the fireplace was ripped out of the wall, that alone would enough.
Be just enough for them to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna murder you,
dude. That's got to be 10 grand, 20 grand,
easy,
if not more.
Easy.
So we're sitting there and we're trying to clean this up. I have like vacuum out, so I'm not hearing anything.
The vacuum untouched,
dude. I'm vacuuming, but the vacuum was fine. Isn't that fine? You know what's so fucking funny? All the cleaning products were readily available. No one touched the cleaning products. Oh my God, it's taken me 19 years to realize how ironic that was.
That's so funny. Hey, well, we better go in the closet was never opened.
He's like, well, somebody probably opened it and we're like, we're here to destroy stuff, not to buff it up.
We're not going to clean the windows. We'll just break them.
Yeah, this is absurd. If I want to see outside, I'll throw a TV through it. Thank you. Perfect
intact vacuum.
So, and mind you, I've had like dinner with this family.
Yeah. So you know where everything's at. That's cool.
I'm terrified, but I'm like this because I know that I'm gonna get blamed. So,
was your name was on the contract?
So exact. So I'm vacuuming, and all of a sudden, the curtain opens up from the outside because the back door, I guess, was wide open.
Oh yeah, you didn't even go outside yet?
Two cops come in. They got guns up. 2 cops come in the front door, and shit. Me and Dan are surrounded. We put our hands up, and we get on the ground, and we both get cuffed. They're like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And we're like, "We heard there was a house party here last night."
That's clearly visible.
We're like, it's one of our.
The cops are like, "Was there?"
It's one of our good friends, and we came to clean it up, and because we were cleaning and everything, they believe us.
Yeah.
So they go, do you understand that you could be charged with breaking and entering? Do you understand that you could be charged?
I have a vacuum out, officer. What do you think I'm doing here?
I'm a 16-year-old with guns pointed at me while I'm vacuuming, and I really didn't hear them, so I'm still vacuuming when I looked up and saw a gun in my face. Because the window just opens up and there's a gun, and I turn around, there's another gun.
He's like, "Get on the ground." You're like, "Huh?"
And mind you, this is this is like the 3rd time I've had cops pull guns on me.
Oh yeah, so this is nothing new for you.
I'm terrified.
Oh, so you're like, "Oh, Steve, Officer Steve."
Yeah, so we explain it, and they go, "Look, we have your names." They want to see our, our IDs and everything. Mm-hmm. They go, "If this comes back that has anything to do with you, you're going to be charged," and they let us go.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're in school, and me and Dan get called down to the office. We go down, and we are under arrest and being questioned for home invasion, breaking and entering, providing. It wasn't delinquency of a minor because we were minors, but it was like providing an underage drinking party, house party, malicious destruction of property.
Jesus.
Some other charge because she told the cops when the parents got home who she gave the key to.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
or who she thought it was.
I mean,
the key hadn't come up yet.
Okay.
But who she thought it was and said it was me and Dan.
So I mean, they could pretty much just pick a charge. And,
oh yeah,
and you're
joyriding because we're getting charged for giving the car at that point.
Yeah.
And
all of that stuff, everything.
What it was $168,000 worth of damage to a house that was $150,000.
Yeah, so you totaled a house.
We ruined it.
Yeah.
So we're not arrested with cuffs or anything, but we're brought into a cop car and brought down to a station. Now Dan has the contract.
Mm-hmm.
So we're there. The parents are there, and we're like, look, we had a contract. We tell them what happened, basically. Yeah. This got out of control.
Everything.
We don't know who they're like, well, who were there? And we're like, we're not writing anybody out, but we're like, we don't know. These people came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Somebody knew somebody wasn't going to be there.
There were 400 people there. You name it.
And I had
any
an alibi
17 to 25-year-old probably.
Yeah, dude.
In the 5 mile radius.
Anybody from downtown Detroit to Mount Clemens who needed a place to party was there. And
are there even 416-year-olds in the neighborhood?
Dude,
you know what I mean? Like, I would imagine that shit spanned.
No,
across,
that's the thing is, it was
across an entire a demographic,
and it was full. So I can't remember if this was like around like the longer Thanksgiving breaks we used to have or something. So I mean, it could have been around then, you know?
Yeah.
And so I mean, a lot of people may not have even been in town.
Sure.
So this place is just ruined, you know. So,
and this was when you got called down to the office. Was this like the next Monday or whatever?
This was like immediately the Monday,
the first day back.
And this wasn't the first time I had been called down. I had been called down before because I was on the street called Bewick, and they took pictures of us buying weed. And basically the cops were like, "Do you know these students? Tell them to stay out of there." And they called us the Bewick boys.
Wow.
So it was like, it's like black and white photos of me buying a big 20-sack of dope. So during school hours. So it wasn't the first time I've been called up for legal issues. So me and Dan get brought out to a cop car. We get brought in. Dan presents the note, and they're like, I don't know what to, and they call the parents. Or the parents were there, something like that. It's hazy now, but the parents see the note.
Mm-hmm.
They see that it's Lauren's writing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, they drop the charges.
So that shit works.
Well, dude,
it's not even notarized.
We could, but that's the thing is the cop came in. He's like, no, it's not. We didn't even bring it to
like it's not a legal document.
It's not official at all.
That's what I mean. It's not.
But I think the parents
legally, it's not a contract. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think
it's your word. It's her word. But
right. I mean, I know it's covered by insurance because it is a break-in.
Yeah.
It's not a legal contract, so it's covered by insurance. But at the same time, these people are such good people that they have enough of a heart to go, yeah, well,
it's her.
It's kind of not their fault though. Like you gave kids a key and shit went insane.
Your child broke that trust,
right?
Not her friend.
So we got all the charges dropped. So like I'm walking out to the car, like I'm basically like when I walked into the cop car, I'm looking at 20 years. To school with nothing.
Oh my god. Yeah, but so none of that has set in yet.
No, I'm just terrified. So like they don't even call my parents. But I mean my parents obviously found out when the paper came out. And I had an honorary mention.
Wow.
So we get
honey, Dave made the paper.
Again. I can't wait to see the article he's in called Drunken Soda Pop Drinker. Oh, dude, I had so many. I had 20 articles of my arrests and like parties I was at.
That's more than I have
in my room.
That's more. Oh.
I did for real. When my mom first met my stepdad much later in life, and I was 25. They went to my old room, and he was like, "I was reading that. You were involved in all of that?" I'm like, "Yeah."
That's like, hilarious.
It looked like I was hunting a serial killer, except it was my drinking degenerate.
I just picture an entire wall.
It's like rope back and forth. So, Lauren gets her parents basically send her to this like rehab juvenile retreat thing.
Yeah.
For 2 years
as punishment for this.
Yeah, she no longer
She's a good kid up until then. That was like the only.
No, she was really bad. She was like me and my friends. Like Lauren.
This was
and I
like the last straw for that for her parents.
Well,
to
like
be like,
she and I, dude, she drove around in this crappy car. We would get high all day. Like she was just this. She was a hippie. You know, like she was very.
So this was a build up.
Yeah, Mary was a sweetheart. Mary was like a 4.0 student, the younger one who my friend was dating. But Lauren was, Lauren had been screwing up for years, and
I got you. So so for the parents, it was like, well, this is just enough.
And I mean, and at that point, she didn't even have a car to go to school, and nobody knew where it was. And so the parents sent her away for 2 years. I know insurance covered the house because I went back maybe like a year later once we were friends again, and I went in for. I think we had dinner or something, but I just remember I was like, wow, granite, new wood, like it looked gorgeous. I got to give him that.
You don't realize how all your compliments are just...
Yeah,
it's nice what you did to the kitchen. And we're like...
They're probably just biting their lip like I should murder you in my basement.
In my brand new basement.
I see you got a new piano.
Yeah.
What did you... I really like the
16-year-old Dave.
I really like the oak and the new fireplace.
Oh my God. How'd you get that back in there?
Wow, that's something.
That looks like such a job.
I love the new door wall. I mean, it really complements the deck that had been set fire to. And I forgot to mention did forget to mention the outside, but I'm sure you can imagine the backyard.
Yeah.
That was a vision. Yeah, so I even and that's a true story that I'm sitting there going like, wow, I like the new chandelier. It's nice you got all this new stuff as all your old family heirlooms and memories had been burned or stolen.
Man, too bad we can't retake all those photos, huh?
Yeah, so like Lauren I saw maybe 6 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Totally different girl. I mean,
literally 6 years ago.
Like she was this like chubby hippie, like whatever, and now she's this like stunning.
Yeah.
You know, and I went up and said hi to her, and
this is the first time you spoke since all of this went down.
Probably.
Yeah.
We had a cordial enough exchange, but you could feel it.
Yeah.
And,
that's right.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that I ruined the relationship between you and your parents, probably still to this day. Yeah. And in fairness, you did too.
Well, sure,
you know what I mean? But it's like she was also...
It's weird to be the turning point in her life. Like, you know what I mean?
And it's hard because now that I look at it, I didn't realize the insecurity and difficulty that 16-year-old girls have more than boys. You know, now that I look back on it, I'm like, that had to be so hard, and she was trying to be cool and like,
absolutely.
But I didn't know. I didn't see it from that way. So it's like,
you're just a 16-year-old kid
and
trying
I feel
to smoke
horrible.
some pot.
Yeah, it's got to be so hard, man.
Yeah.
Like I have nieces I love. Like I look at my wife and I'm like, and even now I think because of the way society is women have to carry a little bit of that natural insecurity and that natural feeling like less than. But you're not aware of it then. You don't know.
No, you don't notice
so
it.
It's like, I feel so bad to this day. Mary hated me until finally we were over at Ryan, her and I were hanging out, and she flat out just stood up to me and was like, I can't believe you did that and this and that. I'm like, look, I was the one who tried to stop it, and I was at work that night, and she's like, you were? And I'm like, I swear to God, I never set foot in your house. Like, you don't have to believe me, but... The TV came out the window. I left. I went and got and Ryan is like, he called me, and you know, it was very, you know, and even T-Bone the Wizard apologized, saying he just couldn't get any car out other than that one.
I was gonna return it,
and he just, you know, and she let that go. And you know, I've seen her a million times since. We're still. I wouldn't say we're still friends because it's been a long time, but we're definitely. Still acquaintances and have always gotten along, and that's a good thing. And the only other time I think I ever saw the parents was when I was walking around their house complimenting all the new stuff they had.
I wonder where they're at right now.
About a year. Yeah, a year after. And I'm sure that there's 2 boys who are 4 and 5 that to this day would like to see me dead.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least the people who did that to the house.
Oh, my God.
And that was the house party I threw so much that a few years ago a movie came out.
Is it Project X or whatever?
And people were legitimately asking me if that was based on.
Did you sell that?
Yeah, and it turned out to be a party in Australia. But I'm not kidding, dude. When I saw the ad, I was like, oh, that's literally that night.
Yeah, that's all I could think about was how similar like just the chaos was, you know what I mean? As far as like the imagery of all the damage and like how like the TV falling right before you.
Well, I couldn't.
How like that has to be from a movie.
I couldn't watch that full movie because they tied balloons
like
to a
PTSD
dog and then let it go.
Yeah.
And they were trash. Honestly, that's why I'm like, this isn't cool. Like, cause it's such a bad memory for me.
Yeah.
And it's one of those reasons why I'm going to have cameras in my house.
Yeah.
Because I have a kid. I'm so glad we can have cameras now.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we have phones.
Yeah.
I'm so glad there's ways to track my kid. There's no,
Yeah. There's.
I think that's a good thing now. People are like, well, your kids won't grow up like that. I'm like, I wish that I would have had those limitations put on me.
Why don't you ask Lauren's parents?
Yeah, how much they wish they could have.
Yeah.
To this day, I wish they had a camera just so I know how they were able to rip out the fireplace. and to find the guy who wrote The Boogeyman Is Here, because whoever it is, is in prison for something terrible.
Oh, he has to be.
So,
talk about dismantling the fireplace.
the only thing worse than the fireplace was The Boogeyman Is Here written in red.
Yeah, those are pretty rough, man.
I stood there in that doorway for 5 minutes just looking at Dan like, you really had some champs here, didn't you?
Oh my God, man.
Were there Wiccans in this room
It's
just having
bad.
a seance?
It's too bad we don't know any people that were there that night that kind of had like an outside, like, I don't know, I'm just some fourth party that got invited. I want to hear that perspective on this night because I was just some guy in some kid's room with a red marker. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do tonight?
Yeah.
I'm just going to write the most horrible thing I think I can.
Ever. That's cool, right?
Yeah, not even like cute.
No,
just like
bad.
evil. Just evil.
Yeah, evil. I'm just a pile of shit. And here's the worst part.
It gets worse.
Well, no. That's not the first time that happened.
Oh, no.
The last time it happened, we'll just say it was at a place called Grandpa Jacrazy's house.
Grandpa Jacrazy.
Where we found out a dude's grandpa wasn't going to be home for a while.
Oh, my God.
So we, with his kid, whose grandpa was, threw this party at their house.
Mm-hmm.
And in the basement was... The dude was like a doomsday prepper, but more in the way of if it was zombies.
Oh.
And he was Gary Busey. So the entire basement was
what
like...
a description.
It was like ninja swords and machetes and guns and grenades and that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So this house was destroyed with weaponry. I still have a vision of somebody who I know very well walking through the house and just shooting at the ceiling.
Wait.
And we were also, this was another time where we were cleaning up the mess and the parents came in.
What?
Like, you're all under arrest, you're all this, and every kid blamed the kid's grandson. We're like, this was his idea.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything to do with this.
How do we...
And he's like, is this true? You said that it wasn't you. No, it was me. And they're like, all of you leave. And so that was like, again, where I just like left on a...
Skated.
And in fairness on that one, I may have been involved. I do remember...
I may have shot a hole through the ceiling.
I never did anything with that, but I do remember that I was playing darts in the basement with machete.
That actually sounds
deliberately
really...
sometimes.
What an asshole. I love it.
It really was.
I love it.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being back, Dave. Oh, do you have anything you want to plug? Anything? I mean,
you can check me out at Landau Dave. If there's a statue on Twitter,
yeah.
If there's a statute of limitations, this story is fake. If there isn't one, you can find me at davelandau.com for all upcoming dates. And the girls who I'm calling Lauren and Mary, I'm sorry. I'm seriously sorry to this day. I did not want that to happen the way that it did. And to her brothers, the boogeyman was kind of there.
That's perfect. Thank you, Dave.